Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm Obscuranjo PT, and for today what we have here is Vanquish. So Vanquish was developed by Platinum Games and the Whittlestone software. They are still using their in-house engine, the same engine behind Bayonetta, but massively improved, although they are still using DirectX 9. So let me show you the settings that I'm currently running the game, and unfortunately I had to create a custom preset. I'm using Borderless because I'm recording with OBS, and it seemed that was the faster way to get it to record. I tested the game with the low preset, normal preset like this one. Normal preset runs absolutely garbage. It runs completely awful, so don't even try it. The frame rate is so low that you might want to kill yourself. So I decided to create a custom preset, so there is no difference between FXAA or Edge. Just choose whatever you like the most. I decided to choose FXAA and texture quality to high because we have the VRAM, and just choose an isotropic between 2 or 4 because 8 or 16 it's very demanding, or the trilinear and bilinear looks like garbage too. Shadow quality, keep it on low. SSAO quality, it wasn't this technique wasn't existent on the console, so just disabled. HDR stands for the HDR lightning. It's not the HDR from the new televisions, okay? It's an HDR lightning technique that was I believe introduced in Half-Life. LOD stands for level of detail, so if you left it on it means that you get less details at a distance. And motion blur, I'm just going to keep it enabled because of the low frames, to keep like a little bit fake smooth low frame rate. Okay, and why I'm talking about low frame rates? Well, because this game doesn't run too well. Okay, so if you buy this game and want to play on this laptop, get prepared to get like every time something explodes, or when there exists a ton of explosions, the frame rate can get as low as 15 FPS or sometimes even lower depending on the situation, okay? But aside from that, the game is perfectly playable. It plays around the 25s to 30s with these settings. The low settings, if you put the entire game on the low settings, you kind of have a slight advantage on the frame rate, like 3 or 4 FPS, which is good, but it also looks much worse. I mean, the textures gets horrible, texture filtering is pretty much non-existent, so there is a lot of things that gets really dull, and this game is kind of old by now, so it really looks old completely, I don't know, it looks just awful. And so that is why I decided to create this sort of custom preset where I just raised the texture quality, and I think you should really do the same, because despite the frame rate goes much lower, as you can see that now drop it to 15 FPS, keep in mind that I'm recording, okay? But overall these drops happens, but the game still, I don't know, it's kind of plays smooth yet. Despite I died one time on this video, I think it's kind of, it is kind of playable. It's, well, it's not the same as 60 FPS or a lock at 30, but it's still perfectly playable, okay, even with those drops, okay, despite they are so embarrassing, it's still playable, okay. So if you want to check the results without recording, it's on the description of the video, and if you want to hear me discuss a little bit more about the performance, just check the end of the video, okay. So if you want to continue enjoying gameplay, just stick with the video. Hope you enjoyed the rest of it, okay? Thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Look out! Friendly ship coming down! Good! Move on through!
The arrivals plaza for landing bay 3 is up ahead.
We've got heavy fighting in the plaza. Bravo, move forward, but maintain cover.
Roger that.
Guess it's time for the real thing.
Your suit is performing at nominal levels, Sam.
Never had a girl say that to me before.
You're moving too far forward.
Don't worry.
Sam, I'm picking up some sort of interference on the scanners. Looks temporal.
You think they're zapping something in?
Enemy reinforcements are closing in on your position.
Are there any other ways to get up top?
It looks like you're just going to have to fight through this one. The gate's open now.
Good. Let's go.
All clear.
All clear.
All clear. Enemy clear. Area enemy clear.
2 enemy transports approaching from the rear.
Prepare to intercept enemy transports.
It initiated its transformation. Most likely to connect to its generator and fire its large radius laser. Can you see the core at the center of its torso?
Yeah.
That's the generator.
Burns, you hear that?
Yeah, I heard. Bravo! Everyone fire on that core!
Hello boys and girls, welcome to the performance section of the video on Vanquish. So like I told you at the very beginning of the video, the median settings runs like shit. I'm sorry for the word, but it's true. While the low settings is without a doubt the best performance, although the graphics were pretty bad, and so because of that I decided to create my custom low preset where I did raise the textures, anisotropic filtering, applied FX AA, and kept all the rest on the minimum with motion blur, HDR. Okay, so it was kind of a nice thing that I decided to use these custom presets. Okay, as you can see, the average is 4 frames lower than the low settings, but you kind of have a much better graphics on screen. But it's up to you. So if you want more performance but with the same settings, you might want to try to drop the resolution to 720p instead of using the native one. Okay, so about the consistency, what can you see is that with median settings most of the frames were lower than 30 FPS, low 32% of the frames were lower than 30 FPS, while my custom low it was close to 70%, so doesn't look that good. But looking to the 25 FPS consistency, low settings, if you use low settings, only 4% of the frames was lower than 25 FPS, while my custom low was 21%. Doesn't look either good. So, but still, my suggestion continues to be close my custom low settings. If you want, you can personalize the things at your own way, but I think this one is maybe the better one. Probably if you play the game at 720p instead of the native one, it's going to give you the same performance as the low settings, but with much better textures and anti-aliasing, so it might be a good idea. VRAM usage was insanely low values. I mean, 250 megabytes of VRAM usage when we have a 2 gigabyte graphic card. RAM usage, I got 3 gigabytes of RAM of usage, but remember that my laptop, I do use to work on it, so there is a ton of process on background sometimes that consumes more RAM than the usual. But anyway, most of these laptops comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM, which should be completely enough to play this game. Okay, CPU usage was between the 30 to 60%, and the GPU usage was between the 90 and the 19%. So it seems that the game was kind of getting a bottleneck coming from the CPU, which is strange. Anyway, the game is the DirectX 9, so it's not very efficient, and that might be the reason behind of it. So with that, I conclude my video. If you want to support this channel, just be my Patreon, guys, because I will give you some advantages. Check the advantages and how to be my Patreon on the description of the video and why I'm doing it. Okay, and with that, this concludes my video. Thank you a lot for watching. If you have any question, just leave on the comment section of the video. And that's all. Goodbye, and I do hope to see you soon. Thank you a lot for watching. Goodbye.